Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a 3-vehicle wreck ties up traffic at a major Victoria intersection.
Plus, Manor ISD student is charged with first-degree murder in a stabbing.
And prosecutors say a cheating ring certified over 200 Houston area teachers illegally.
We're going to be taking a look at your radar picture to show you where the rain is and where it's not, because I know a lot of trick-or-treaters are heading out right now. We'll be talking about that coming up in a moment.
And the Los Angeles Dodgers win the World Series last night versus the New York Yankees. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Shawna Currie. A driver is ticketed after a 3-vehicle crash in Victoria today. It happened just before 10 this morning on Main Street at Mockingbird. Police say a truck with a trailer was eastbound on Mockingbird when the driver ran a red light, causing the crash. The driver was given a ticket. One person was taken to the hospital by ambulance. Another went by private vehicle to be checked out.
Court records show an 18-year-old Manor ISD student faces a first-degree murder charge. Police say he fatally stabbed his classmate with a kitchen knife in the Manor High School bathroom. 18-year-old Darren Loving died. 18-year-old Mac Mbanwe was arrested and charged with murder. He remains in the Travis County Jail on a $1 million bond. Both Manor high schools will be closed through Friday, and all extracurricular activities were canceled. Harris County authorities say 5 people are facing charges in a teacher certification cheating scandal.
Prosecutors say hundreds of teachers paid thousands of dollars to pass their certification test in the reported scheme, and that has been going on for years. Sherelle Hubbard has the latest on how it worked and who was behind it.
At a time where teachers are thought to be in short supply, prosecutors in Texas say 5 people have been running a cheating ring to get teachers certified illegally. The Harris County District Attorney's Office said the alleged scheme placed more than 200 illegally certified teachers in Houston area classrooms since 2020, including 2 child sexual predators.
And it just destroys that kind of faith that our community has in public schools, to trust our government to educate their kids and to keep them safe.
The alleged organizer of the scheme is a head basketball coach at a Houston high school. His attorney declined to comment. The DA's office says the coach, 2 assistant principals, and 3 other school employees all face 2 felony counts of engaging in organized criminal activity. Prosecutors say one assistant principal recruited dozens of teachers to participate in the cheating ring.
My client is innocent until proven guilty, and we look forward to hearing more about the state's evidence.
Prosecutors say another assistant principal was a test taker.
This defendant was the proxy that took the test for the participants.
The group allegedly charged teachers $2,500 each to pass their certification. Houston Federation of Teachers says the alleged scheme cheats teachers who actually earned their credentials.
It's very disappointing because we have thousands of teachers across the state who put in the time.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Multiple school districts in the Houston area are likely impacted. That's leading to greater concerns about educational standards and public safety. Houston ISD says it is investigating and will fire any teachers who took part in the scheme.
Well, join us tonight at 10 for Protecting Lavaca Bay, a 25 News Now Extra. Chief Meteorologist Maclovia Perez takes a look at the history, challenges, and future of this vital waterway in the Crossroads. So again, tune in tonight on 25 News Now at 10. And we finally saw a little bit of rainfall. I know a lot of people were excited about that, Mac. Do we have more coming tonight for trick-or-treating?
Well, I don't know. Let's consult the skeleton over here and see what's going on. He's having a good time. Your temperature at 6 p.m. right about now is 83, at 8 p.m. 79, and then by 10 p.m. when all the little goblins should be indoors, it'll be 76. So it's a rather warm, balmy evening. We do have some shower activity, but it is decreasing, and we'll have the latest radar for you coming up in just a moment.
Nice weather forecaster there, no bones about it. Hey, the polls are open for early voting this week in Victoria County from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Voting is at the Dr. Patty Dodson Public Health Center, 2805 North Navarro Street, Classroom A. Early voting goes through tomorrow. That's the last day of early voting. In 8 of the 10 days for early voting in Victoria this month, the number of voters casting their ballots went over 2,000. Total votes cast over 21,000. That's 37% of Victoria County registered voters. Just over 60% of registered voters in Victoria County cast their ballots in the 2020 presidential election. The Republican National Committee filed an emergency appeal with the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, asking it to order counties to reject mail-in ballots with incorrect dates. Voters are supposed to write down the date they filled out the ballot, but sometimes they put their birth date or other incorrect dates, or fail to put any date on the ballot. The requirement has led to the rejection of thousands of ballots in past elections. In this current lawsuit, it's not clear how many ballots could be affected.
The man accused of a 2019 mass shooting at an El Paso Walmart appears in court. Patrick Currie is accused of opening fire inside of the Walmart, killing 23 people. Today's court appearance was part of a two-day hearing on charges of prosecutorial misconduct. His legal team is asking the court to dismiss the charges or remove the death penalty. The 26-year-old was sentenced to 90 consecutive life terms in federal prison after he pleaded guilty to hate crimes and weapons charges. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is not the only person suing the State Fair of Texas over its gun ban. The Texas Tribune reports 3 fairgoers are asking for up to $1 million in damages and to allow guns at the state fair. In September, the Texas Supreme Court denied Paxton's request to overturn the policy after a Dallas District Court judge allowed the gun ban to stand. Paxton filed the update, naming the newest plaintiffs in his ongoing case before the Dallas District Court.
A new report shows Texas' housing shortage is getting worse. The report by the Up for Growth organization says Texas builds more homes than other states, but hundreds of thousands more are still needed. That contributes to higher housing costs. The Texas Tribune reports in 2022, Texas needed about 320,000 more homes than it had. That was up from about 306,000 the previous year. That shortage shows how Texas, which builds more homes, like I said, than any other state, has struggled in the last decade to build enough homes.
Ghost Kitchen Brands, operating in Walmarts across the U.S. and Canada, is bringing robot-run eateries to locations in Arizona, Colorado, and Texas. These spots will feature robotic servers and bartenders offering a variety of menus under one roof for easy pickup or delivery. So this brings us to our viewer poll today. Would you dine at a restaurant managed partially by robots? Yes, I'd give it a try. No, I prefer human interaction. Or maybe it depends on the food quality. So more than 3/4 of you feel that there's something about that human interaction when you go out to eat or you order food from a place. So we just had a little update there. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote and we'll have the latest on 25 News Now at 10. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell to receive alerts. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, school threats continue to rise sharply throughout Texas.
Also ahead, how fear creates pleasure and builds social connections. Can't wait to hear this.
Well, welcome back. The number of school threats reported in the state have skyrocketed, hitting an all-time high in September.
Parents and students say they're getting tired of the threats, but the DPS says it's not necessarily a reason to panic.
In Septembers of years past, we saw those reports coming in the 80s and 90s, which are concerning numbers. But then in September of this year, we saw that number skyrocket to over 200. Across Southeast Texas, the schools have seen a flurry of threats and in some cases, actual violence.
They're tired of this.
Knife fights, guns inside schools, people calling in and making threats. Students and parents are on edge.
Like, it's definitely quite frightening, especially as a student that goes to Lamar. I feel like it's kind of hard, like, being on guard a lot of the times.
Very, very frightful. Very terrified.
Montgomery and Harris County telling ABC 13 school threats had led to them pressing charges against a number of people.
It's not funny, it's not a joke, it has real consequences, and tell somebody, because unfortunately what we can't know is what is in somebody's head and what's in their heart.
It's advice people seem to be taking seriously. The state saying reports of school threats are on the rise. I Watch Texas, the website and app that allows people to report school threats and suspicious activity, says report numbers have hit an all-time high. In September of 2022, there were 63 reports. In September of 2023, there were 89. And this September, there were 204. But DPS says while there have been more threats to schools, it's not the only reason their data grew.
You know, I contribute a lot of it to the awareness and the campaigning of the program. Of course, our DPS Intelligence and Counter Terrorism Division, they attribute the heightened the numbers to that as well.
DPS says now that people have a centralized space to report a threat and the process is anonymous and quick, more people are making the effort to step up and report potential crimes against schools.
It just makes our heart glad that people are actually using this valuable app and program to make the community safe.
You can report a school threat at iwatchtexas.org through the free app or website. I'm Liliana Pearson, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Here are some of the top headlines in the Victoria Advocate. Victoria ISD safety audits determined the safety of campuses. The city of Victoria enters stage 2 of its drought contingency plan, and the dead rise in the annual historic cemetery tour. You can read these stories and more at victoriaadvocate.com or pick up a copy at a store near you. Well, Halloween is the one day of year where fear is celebrated. From trick-or-treating to haunted houses to horror movies, the shocks and the surprises are lurking around every corner.
But when it comes to things that might give us a fright, some of us enjoy getting spooked more than others. Here's what the science says about that.
People do many different things to get pleasure out of fear.
Investigating conditions under which fear can be fun, social, and in some cases meaningful.
It's sort of built in, it seems, to sort of human nature in a way.
Mark Anderson and Matthias Clayson run the Recreational Fear Lab at Aarhus University in Denmark. They say similar to the excitement a child may feel before opening a gift, anxiousness of the unknown, surprise, and eventual resolution is what can make things like haunted houses, scary movies, roller coasters, even hide and seek so enjoyable.
Humans tend to seek out things that surprise us in a variety of ways that drive up uncertainty so that we can then reduce that uncertainty.
Experiencing horror can also provide people with a sense of accomplishment, feed a need for stimulation, and satisfy an appetite for the macabre.
We are very curious to know what's going to happen if one attends, let's say, Hannibal Lecter's dinner. Or what happens if the purge night is really on today?
Behavioral scientist Haiyang Yang says research suggests 3 psychological conditions allow someone to enjoy horror. 1, confidence in dealing with the situation. Even if I encounter zombies, I'll be fine because I know I can outrun them or fight them off. 2, understanding you're physically safe. Even if I see a monster on screen, it can't hurt me. 3, detachment. Realizing ghosts and killer clowns at a haunted house are just actors.
Possessing those frames help protect you from actual psychological harm.
In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Taylor Swift is in her Halloween era, sort of. This is the scene outside a home in Phoenix. As you can see, the skeletons are dressed in outfits the singer has worn in either her music videos or during her concerts. The decorations are nothing new for the homeowner. She had a Taylor Swift display last year and plans on having another one next year. Until then, local fans will be able to enjoy this love story to the pop star until November 3rd, Sunday.
Yeah, I know Taylor Swift is slender, but that's way too much. Anyway, good afternoon, everyone. We've finally got the rain here in the Crossroads. It was nice. Now, at this hour, things are winding down on the rain, just in time for all the Halloween activities to strike up. 74 degrees right about now. We're not looking at anything warm at all, or rather cool. 92 was our high compared to 79 where we're supposed to be. We're going to be looking at the latest radar coming up in just a moment. Well, good evening, everyone. The rain finally arrived. Yes, it was 35 days of no rain, and finally something came in. Now, here's the bad part. It didn't hit the rain gauge at the airport, so theoretically it goes down as another dry day. But you know we had the shower activity around the area. Our front came in just as scheduled. The rain shower activity at this hour is beginning to decrease in intensity. Let's zoom in a little bit. Here, there's the city. This is like right now, okay? So we have a decreasing activity to the south of the city, down along 77. Little bit of shower up toward Yoakum. If you're going up in Edna, everything's looking good. And even in Matagorda County, as you can see how most of the shower activity is decreasing. So the good news, once the sun goes down, all of this will disappear, and all of a sudden the ghosts and the goblins will appear. We take a look, of course, at the big picture, and you can see, pardon me, our cold front that came in right as scheduled. The thing is, it's really not strong enough. It's going to stall right at the Gulf Coast, and tomorrow it's going to back up on Friday, so the chance of rain continues. And as I look at the big picture, I see what? Another cold front, and what? Another big Pacific storm. 2 fronts in the next 7 days. The last one's going to get us into the 70s. I guarantee you that one. Now here's the forecast, or actually the current temperatures today. These are the high temperatures. So we were in the 80s, but look at North Texas, 77, the high in Dallas. That sounds pretty good. So here's a future tracker. This is going forward in time. You can see how the showers got down there. And as we get into Friday, a lot of that backs up. And so the continuing chance of rain will be with us because of an unstable atmosphere and plenty of moisture to work with. Then we watch and wait for the next 2 fronts coming in. Here it is on Saturday. You can see it. It's up in North Texas. Eventually that'll drop southward into our region, and we are looking for an actual cold front that will cool the weather down, fortunately. Now, the tropics. Here's Cancun, here's Cuba. You're not going to believe this one. I've been watching this for about a week and a half, It finally looks like it's going to take off as an area of low pressure. It's going to move around, roll over Cuba. Look at this. Takes a northwest turn, gets into the Gulf of Mexico, and then all of a sudden it takes a real sharp turn and goes toward Florida. Whether or not it organizes into a tropical storm is going to be interesting, but it will be unstable weather. And for us, those two fronts that are coming in will keep it at bay as far as we're concerned. We're looking at scattered showers again tomorrow, cloudy skies, high temperature of 83. Tomorrow in Cuero, getting up to about 85 with additional shower activity, especially in the afternoon hours. And you're, got to remind everybody, Saturday night, or fall back 1 hour, the end of daylight saving time. And the Red Cross wants you to remember, turn back your clock and check the batteries on your fire alarms, because it's just a good time of the year to check on that. So showers again on Friday, Saturday, decreasing Sunday, next front on Monday with more rain. So we're all of a sudden back in the rain business. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Shawna.
All right, thanks a lot, Mac. Well, now we toss it over to Max Williams. And anything spooky going on in the sports world?
Yeah, not too much there, Shawna. I mean, like I said, we have Athlete of the Week here tonight, so something huge there. So before everyone gets ready for trick-or-treating here tonight, I'm going to tell you who our Athlete of the Week will be. Find out here in sports. All right, happy Halloween here, everybody, here in the sports world. But before everyone, like I mentioned, gets going here to trick-or-treating here later here tonight, you want to tune in to see who this will be our Athlete of the Week. And we're going to give it to UHV women's soccer player Kylie Spree-Kolash. Here's more for our Athlete of the Week. Last Saturday on Senior Day of all days, UHV's women's soccer player and Victoria native Kylie Spree-Kolash made some history, breaking the women's soccer single-season goals record in their win over North American 5-0. The record was set by Shalea Kopo in 2013 and was tied by Emily Lopton in 2015. Kolash describes how this historic mark meant to her.
Oh, it was great, especially like it being Senior Day. I think it made it 10 times better. But the fact that Sheila trained me and helped me become the person or the player I am today, I think it really says a lot. So.
Now, Kolash did not start her career at UHV. She transferred from Our Lady of the Lake University, where she played 4 years before heading back to get her master's degree here in Victoria and at UHV. Kolash feels happy to break this record in front of her family and her friends.
It feels really good coming from San Antonio, playing 4 years there, and then coming back here for my last year. It was, it's great, and it's so nice to be home, and it's nice to be able to be around my family, being able to come to the games and everything like that.
One of the other star players for the women's team is senior Estelle Flanagan, who had an extra year due to the COVID pandemic. Flanagan talks about how she appreciates playing with Kylie this year and the competition they had playing against each other the previous 4 years.
One of the best teammates that I've had, especially her doing her master's here at UHV, coming from OLU. I remember playing her freshman, sophomore, junior year, senior year, and honestly, like, watching her grow as a player is absolutely an honor to watch, and especially now her last year being here.
Now, UHV women's soccer team has clinched a playoff spot already, but are looking to host a quarterfinal game at home if they win out and Texas A&M Texarkana and LSU Alexandria lose both of their last 2 games. And Kolash hopes her team can get this opportunity to play at home this postseason.
Well, it'd be great. I mean, have you seen the field? It's beautiful. I'd rather play on this field like any day than any other field in this conference. So, yeah, hopefully that's kind of what happens. I think that's what we're all hoping for right now. So.
In all, Kolash has been a great leader and role model for the Lady Jaguars soccer team this season, and wish her luck the rest of the way. Congrats to Kylie for being this week's Athlete of the Week.
Again, props up there to Kylie, and her team played earlier today over, again, the team that we just mentioned, her former team in Our Lady of the Lake, and they won 2-1 here today. So they got one more road game again this Saturday, then they get ready there for postseason play. Now, over to some baseball. The Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series last night versus the New York Yankees, and the Dodgers, they won the World Series there in 5 games versus the Yankees. And in this game here last night in Game 5, they were down 5-0, but they fought all the way back, and they won the game there 7-6. And the MVP of this World Series, if you haven't really watched it, it's not really a surprise. Freddie Freeman won it again. Had a great series, hit that grand slam we saw there in Game 1, and then hit 3 straight other home runs there in Games 2, 3, and 4. And so the Dodgers there win it in 5 games there. And again, props up to the Dodgers. Now, a team is playing here tonight, the Houston Texans. They play the New York Jets here on the road tonight. The kickoff will be at 7:15 p.m. on Amazon Prime. The Texans, they're looking to keep atop here the AFC South, but they're doing without 2 of their top receivers. Again, Nico Collins right now is on IR, and Stephon Diggs, like I mentioned earlier the week, tore his ACL there versus the Colts. So the Texans, they're going to hope they can get some offense going again. They got this game against the Jets, and they got a little bit of time before they play Sunday Night Football against the Detroit Lions back at home there in following weeks. That's going to do it here in sports. Don and Shawna, back to you.
All right, Max, thank you. We're back in a moment. Exploding pumpkins turned into the perfect experiment this Halloween at a university in Michigan. Tonight, warning, do not try this at home. Chemistry students brought science to life by blowing up some pumpkins at Calvin University in Michigan. Pumpkins were lined up on a table, and then the science of the explosion began. They blow up the pumpkins to show a reaction with calcium carbide and water, which generates a flammable gas. The annual tradition started in 2019, where chemists and biochemists celebrated the spooky season with a creative, fun, and hands-on but not too many hands-on chemistry experiment because you could have a problem. By the way, the rock group Smashing Pumpkins had no comment.
Interesting way to roast the seeds, though.
Yeah, where are the seeds? Oh, they're gone. They're out of here. They're somewhere
Think of all the
there.
pumpkin pies we could have had out of that. You know, just
I know. They didn't
gone.
have fun like that when I was in college.
No.
My word.
No exploding pumpkins. Well, folks, the shower activity is decreasing. That's the good news. For those of you heading out in this evening, the shower activity was good this afternoon. It was a beginning because by tomorrow we see a lot more shower activity, and then it sort of wanes by the time we get to Sunday. But then 2 cold fronts coming in the next 7 days.
All right, Mac, thank you, and thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.